Assalamualaikum everyone, good evening. I am Tessin Zara and today I am going to present my topic Discourse Markers. Basically, it was a group presentation, so we divided the topics into two parts. One is presented by Iman, and I am going to talk about different aspects regarding different aspects that are linked. Being a woman, we are very blessed that Allah Almighty has blessed us that we can communicate, we can speak, we can write. As these are all the way of communication, we are using language in order to communicate, in order to express our emotions, feelings, thoughts, and so on. When we speak or when we write, we use certain words in order to connect our sentences, in order to maintain cohesion and coherence in our sentences if we are writing. And if we are speaking, we will use certain words in order to uh, connect our speech. So that these words are basically discourse markers that I am going to present.
Okay, you have said that cohesion and coherence both are at the sentential level or they are different?
Different. Obviously, in cohesion, these are the ties in a sentences. And
So one is applicable at the sentential level, the other is maybe at the paragraph level.
Yes.
Larger chunk of
Yeah.
text.
Coherence is all about what we will implicate when we.
So are you sure about that cohesion or coherence? Which one is applicable at the sentential level?
Cohesion.
Cohesion.
Yeah. And coherence is depend upon our interpretation, what listener or the reader interacted. And the topic that I am going to cover in firstly introduction. Second, I will talk about the function of discourse marker in conversation, including written and spoken conversation. What are the common discourse markers that we use in our conversation, and how discourse markers may vary from different cultures. And the last one is features of discourse with the help of some dialogues. Firstly, introduction. The word, as we all know, that the word discourse is derived from a Latin word that means discourses, which means, that are derived from Latin word discourses, which means communication, talk, speech, conversation, okay, speak. And if I talk about discourse, any idea, either they are political, religious, social, psychological, it is discourse.
So can you explain this running through and through discurses?
Discusses mean, sir, it's different. Like everyone, different people say like it means from to and fro, and some means from communication, talk, and speech. I just take like conversation, talk, and speech as going to discuss.
Don't you think
It's
that
it's just for additional information. I am going to ask the questions related.
the thing is that discussive practice is there related to discourse. I mean, it is perfectly fine running through and flow. Like in a topic, you have flexibility in your talk, you move and cover different aspects at the same time. Parallel you are moving and taking all those aspects side by side. So in that perspective, it's okay. Discuss it or discusses.
Yes. And what I was saying that discourse, what discourse means text and talk in the context, we are concerned with what are the language that are used beyond the sentences and beyond the utterances.
For instance, political or religious perspective is concerned.
Yes.
You are supposed to discuss a political incident here. So different perspectives are there, different thought process to take the same political scenario. Like the way they are thinking, the thinking patterns are different. Depends upon the individual's belief about that particular entity. Like you are discussing, popular party PTI, like maybe there are some people who are having their strong connection with that, but some are at the opposite extreme. They have their own viewpoint. So this is how you are moving from one side to another side to discuss the politics. Same is the case with the religion. When it comes to the different school of thought, different sections are there, sects are there. They have their own school of thought. Maybe they are agreeing at some point, but also disagreeing to take the same concept. So this is the quality of the discourse, to have the discursive, to to move from one subject to another. And this is a to and fro. Like the pendulum is going to and fro. Those who have studied the physics at intermediate level, you are well aware of this to and fro motion of the pendulum. Yes. Although it is connected with the center, but it's moving to and fro. Okay. Back and forth and to and fro.
Then we have the term marker. Okay, this is a term that is derived from the Old English, means mark. Here we have Puneet in this,
Yeah, that
and the back to when it comes to track, like word changes in different languages. Like from Old English, this derived this considered as a mark, and from it tracked back to the Proto-Germanic, so it's mark is what? Marco. No.
Merka.
Yeah, which means to boundary, to merge, to indicate, or to mark. Here it's been. So in short, discourse means communication, conversation, speech, talk, and discourse and marker means indicator, signal that indicate some kind of a signal or point. So the what was the origin of this word discourse marker?
The
She is a linguist, Deborah Schifrin. She was a linguist and she worked on discourse analysis for a number of time, for a long time period. And where she wrote a book, Discourse Markers. It was the first time in 1987 when she wrote this book, and she wrote the discourse marker for the first time. So that is the basically the origin of this word. She said that the words like well, like so because therefore these are the words that we use in our speech and in our text in order to connect the sentences, to relate the different relationship between the ideas, and to in order to make our communication good. So here is a definition of a discourse markers. Discourse markers are basically words or phrases that signals the relationship between ideas, transitions between the segments, and express the speaker tone's attitude within a conversation and text. Now I have a question to all of you. Can you please give me some examples, like how discourse markers signal the relationship between ideas and transition between segments and express speaker tones?
Okay, you're supposed to respond. The Almighty has bestowed the beings with the five senses, and you are short at one, maybe you are not lacking in the other one. Like some are visual, you are whatsoever you are observing, you are perceiving that information. Some are auditory, like that they have this quality of whatsoever they are listening, they are keeping it in their memory for a long time. And kinesthetics are there, some are very sensitive, they are supposed to take plenty of information through their kinesthetic mode of learning. So the different senses are there, so you are perceiving information, and obviously, as far as the discourse markers are concerned, you are using sometimes you are saying it mean at the deeper level, you are ensuring that other person is having the context of that particular topic, and you see what does it mean? It means that person is visual. He is supposed to give you some pictorial evidence to make you believe whatsoever he or she is discussing at that time. Clear? So in that scenario, obviously all these tokens of information, all these words are the signals or indicators of those specific, you can say that medium of information or route of information. Like they are kinesthetic, they are visual, they are auditory. It depends upon their short sense of perception. So there are certain other words that you say, however, because. On the other hand, all these are the signals. They are supposed to give, final conclusion, or they are just trying to make or reach at some agreement or some disagreement. I agree with you, however, but to me, Here you are supposed to give contradictory viewpoint. So all these are helping you to move on in conversation, and it's supposed to give some sort of aesthetic
Yes.
sense to your conversation as well. Now it's up to the class to ask question.
Yeah, tell me.
The function of discourse markers. She is actually asking.
How discourse markers signals the relationship between ideas.
Like first one is if the speaker is uttering such type of sentences, so it very clearly means that he or she is like asserting or emphasizing the things, and he is having knowledge that the person who with whom I'm having a conversation, he is getting comprehension of it, he is understanding, he is getting what I'm saying. This is, and sometimes it can arise some sort of curiosity as well. So I think it is for that purpose.
In a speaker's monologue, but in case of graduate level class, you can say undergraduate level class, is the BS level class. So mean the speaker is taking something for granted, like he is perceiving those students that they are standing at a certain cognitive level. So he
Yes.
is supposed to propagate the ideas and connect the ideas and have all that discussion in that scenario, believing that the audience is capable enough to perceive the information. So this is how there certain words are there. They are supposed to connect those ideas. Yeah? So and it is about the relationship between the ideas in this. And in a discussion, certain pieces of information are there. You are trying to discuss them parallel and then trying to bring at a certain conclusion.
Right.
So in conclusion, by winding up the discussion,
Yes.
we are reaching at this conclusion. So in textual context, we may also discuss, but as far as the ideas are concerned in a spoken discourse, obviously the monologue delivered by the teacher, yes, that is also sharing, pairing and sharing of ideas within that academic atmosphere. It is also applicable. And then comes the transition. Okay, it's up to the class to give answer. Transitions between segments.
Like if speaker is saying something, if something is written in books and we are reading it, so definitely we'll get the sense of it because writer has added few commas, like Pakistan comma India and Japan. Okay, but if speaker is saying, so definitely he'll give a pause, Pakistan, India, Japan. Okay, so I think segments is this, like he's segmenting his speech to deliver better, right? This is my perception.
Okay,
Yes,
so
you're right. There are certain, languages you can say that
Yes.
the words that are also,
Yes.
source of transition in a particular scenario of writing and as well as discussion.
Yes.
On contrary,
Yeah.
and here you are supposed to introduce other aspect of that,
Yes.
means advantages and disadvantages of the social media. Like you are discussing the advantages, and then on contrary, here from here you are taking turn to discuss the negative impacts of the social media. So this is how certain words are there. They are serving as a transition. They are discourse marker and serving as a transition in text and talk.
Actually, I want to write an example here. When I was researching on that topic, I came across with an example. Like, this is an example. Read it and what you have understand. Tell me. First, we will mix the mixture, then we will bake the cake.
Oh my god. First we'll mix the mixture
Yeah, we will mix the mixture.
and then we'll bake the cake.
Bake the cake.
I have a question. How can we mix the mixture?
Like
What
what we
about
have
what
to
are you
find.
trying to
Mixture is
say?
already mixed.
Yeah, like ingredients are in a bowl, and then we are stirring it, we are mixing it, we are jumbling it, we are making an amalgam of different ingredients.
So
So,
this was one mistake I have.
So mixing the mixture is not important. Actually, the word that is a source of transition in that you are supposed to
Yes.
identify that one. It is important.
yeah, first
This
we'll
one
mix
is
the
there
ingredients.
first, and then is there obviously to give the.
Just try to understand how these, like you are right, sorry, like how first and then these are the discourse markers, how they are transiting the segments.
Like they are telling us arrangement, first step, second step, like a flow
Exactly.
chart
What's the first step in
to
the cake?
mix the ingredients
Yes, and then
and then to bake the
yeah,
cake.
and mixing is comes first before baking, and then after baking we will
Mix and bake.
Second, in a chronological order, because at first the ingredients are there.
Yes.
And then how you are actually mixing all those ingredients, and then the product is there. Then is actually giving an indication towards the final product.
Yeah.
That is any bakery product.
Yep.
So this is how
like
that is the basically discourse marker here. Just to indicate
baking comes after.
these are at the sentential level, but when it comes to the ideal, certain markers
Yes.
are also there.
When it comes, means baking comes after
Mix.
mixing. So that's how these two discourse markers we use in order to transition to create some sort of transition between segments. Okay, next one. So we use discourse markers at the start or end of conversation in order to connect our conversation and to express attitude. I hope the example that I have right here and the teacher and the program told us it's all clear to you. Okay. Discourse markers are often known as glue. How? What is the purpose of glue? Can anyone tell me?
Yes.
Yeah. But when it comes to language, it's mean that discourse markers are some sort of a glue that sticks different words together in order to make a bold sentence, in order to make a new sentence. It's often known as fillers. In our spoken conversation, we use different kind of fillers that we can say it's some sort of pause, like I am standing here. Um, as I talk about discourse marker and then I am going to talk about the definition of discourse marker.
So they have the binding force, you can
Yeah.
say, like source of creating cohesion amongst the sentences and also coherence.
Basically, fillers, we often use fillers in our text. When we were in the third semester, Sir Imran checked our paper and they told us that the words that we use like and so